evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
That man is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
Hello and welcome in, everybody. Back in the studio on a topical Tuesday here in no man's land. Welcome to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, the Captain Cool.
Oh my goodness, it's
Captain Cool! Someone lose a grenade. Oh yeah! Make sure you guys find us online at theblitzsportsradio.com, on Facebook at theblitzsportsradio, and on Twitter at theblitz_sports, so you guys can keep up with all the information that we'll be shoving out to you guys. And while you're at it, go and follow us on Twitch and YouTube at WZZN TV for more than just sports talk. You get to see me and Bandy's beautiful face, sometimes Chad's beautiful face, sometimes the Tom's beautiful. You'll never see Tom's beautiful face unless you're watching the Tom Abraham show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. That is also on WZZN TV. It just gives you, so many more reasons to be subscribed to us, to keep up with all of your favorite sports talk hosts. This first hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you have any roofing problems, look them up online and fill out your free quote today. Remember, Fleming always shows up, and you know what? They will show up even in the torrential downpour that is going on outside right now. Let me tell you, me and Bandy were sitting in the meeting room. We were doing our work prep before the show, and all of the rain in Huntsville could have just came down at one point, and I know it knocked off the first segment, the first few segments of the Tom Abraham show, but they got it back up and running because those two are extremely reliable, as in the Chad and the Tom Abraham. So they had a wonderful show over there. And if you guys want to listen to them, they go from 12 to 2 all the way up to our show. You can find them on the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, and you can find us on the Blitz Sports Radio app. But you guys are live, hanging with the chillest crew of two in sports radio, in the booth, behind the glass, spinning the tracks, dissing me whenever he gets a chance. The one, the only Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
I don't know about that last one.
Maybe muting my mic. I don't know.
Well, I don't try to diss you intentionally.
Nah.
You know.
I know. We just boys. We like to trash talk, bust each other's chops. That's all how it is. How you doing today, Bandy?
I'm doing pretty well, especially coming off. I mean, what was a really good basketball weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And then we now have a slate set for the national championship between Georgia and TCU. And the semifinals over the weekend, for slate of bowl games that were also played during that day. I mean, Alabama, Kansas State. Yeah, we should have been in the playoffs.
Oh, dude, let me tell you. Okay, there's a lot of teams that could have been in the playoffs, but they weren't. And another team that actually earned their right is one, TCU, with the defeat over Michigan. Dude, Bandy, that game was just a shootout to the end. I was at a brand new restaurant called Philo's Tavern in Winchester, Tennessee. Very exquisite place. Okay, if I saw you in Winchester, I would see you probably at Philo's. It's a very nice joint they got there. But I mean, along with the amazing college football, we also got some good NFL football. We have a better picture at the playoffs, and it's going to be very excited because moving forward, we only have a few more weeks. And it's playoff time. And sadly, my team's not in. You don't have an NFL team, really, do you?
Not yet.
So they're not in either.
I mean, honestly, I'm starting to kind of gear toward the Lions. Mainly,
the Lions?
Mainly because of Jamal Williams.
Okay. Understandable.
He's probably my favorite player right now.
He is a pretty cool dude. I will say that if you're looking for a team in the AFC, look towards the Browns because Myles Garrett, he's a huge anime fan as well. And if you've ever seen him during the practices, he likes to have the visors that have like the Naruto eyes occasionally. I think they had one of the Dragon Ball characters on it at one time. He just gets the weirdest things known to man, and he puts them on his visors. But he's very adamant about that. And he also likes dinosaurs.
All right.
And he's huge. But
I mean, he pretty much is a dinosaur.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's built like one.
I'm trying to set you up with being a Browns boy with me, but we're already
anything to get me on the Browns fan
exactly
train.
Exactly. We need more fans. Actually, we got a lot of fans, but a lot of them are closet fans because of how poor they have been as of the last few decades. Either way, we got a lot to get into today. We have a special guest on with us later on. That's Deshaun Tate. He's going to be talking NBA with us, and we had a lot of NBA fun over the long weekend that we had. This is the first show of the week. Don't worry, you didn't miss out on anything yesterday because we weren't here. It was just fun bowl game action. We had the Rose Bowl and we had the Cotton Bowl, which Cotton Bowl is really good.
Yeah.
If you miss the Cotton Bowl, you're missing out. Now, the Rose Bowl, on the other hand, it wasn't as good. Sadly, Utah didn't pull away the win, who was my favorite in the game, obviously. But it was still a decent game, and it was the end of the original, Rose Bowl game, okay? It's moving on to a newer format. They're going to have the 12-game playoffs or the 12-team playoffs and all that stuff. So it really is the end of the original Rose Bowl game. But, the Cotton Bowl, on the other hand, was spectacular.
Oh, my goodness.
What a classic, and we're going to hop into that real quick just to talk about it and then hop into our main stories for today. But
USC.
Geez.
What happened?
Jeez, it looked like Utah versus USC all over again, okay? It looked like they had it in the bag throughout the entire game. They really did, okay? They let Tulane kind of come back every once in a while, but then at the end they were pulling away, and then Tulane, let me tell you, RG3 did a great job, announcing this game. He was doing the color as well. And he made a lot of funny references because he was making a little play on words with the players' names, which was really cool. And then at the end, I remember the only part that I came in during, right when it was going into the fourth quarter, right before I started really watching the game, was he was saying, looks like USC is going to get the dub in this one, get this, trophy and stuff. And I looked at Tom and I was like, better not say that super early. You better watch out.
There's still time on the clock.
Exactly. And, Tulane absolutely went off. And we'll possibly look a little bit more into that because some of the players on that Tulane team, you wouldn't think it. But, hey, those guys know how to play some football, Bandi. So.
Look, they were going all out against USC. And, look, I'd like to dig on him a little bit, especially for kind of a stunt he did against Utah with his fingernails.
Yeah, he did
but,
that.
I mean, and you cannot fault Caleb Williams at all.
Oh, no.
For this USC loss. I mean,
Yeah.
he absolutely put on a clinic and a showcase against this Tulane team.
Kid showed off why he is the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like it. He was making some insane throws. It was just mainly on the defensive side. There is no defense in college football. It just doesn't exist. It's not a thing. But let me tell you.
Now where USC plays.
Now where USC plays. Now where a lot of teams play, apparently, because this whole last playoff weekend for college football was just insane. These scores are going wild. I don't know what they need to do on the defensive side for any of these teams, but Michigan let
Purdue.
Purdue. Jeez, that game was just disgusting altogether. Finally, a little blowout we could find. But Michael Pratt for Tulane, he's not really a thrower. Okay.
Yeah.
We saw him rush a lot, and he rushed at least 15 times for 83 yards. He did a spectacular job doing that. But Tajay,
I think it's Tajay.
Tajay Spears or whatever. 17 carries for 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is the kid that won this game for them. Now, I won't take anything away from Michael Pratt. He did an amazing job at the end making those 4th down conversions. He was going for it. Didn't find the man open. He ran for it. He was doing a spectacular job picking up that, keeping his team alive, and then the touchdown pass at the end to keep them just to tie up the game, and then the field goal to win it, or the extra point to win it. It was just a spectacular ending. Tulane's going to remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's still one of the craziest stats I've ever seen at the end of a game, is that they never even led for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Game. That was it. That was the only time they ever led in the game, and it was for the win.
Yeah. And, Bandi, do you know what this team's record was last year?
Tulane. I could not tell you if you put something in my head.
Just think about their name when it comes to wins. Two.
Wait, really? 2 wins?
They were 2-10 last year.
Oh, and they finished 12-2.
Exactly, Bandi. This is one of the craziest.
I'm reading that, right?
This is the craziest turnaround in college football history, almost. Okay, I mean, I can't recall anything else. You don't see Temple doing this. You don't see South Florida doing this.
Rice might do it next year with JT Daniels.
Rice probably will, okay?
I can't say that without laughing.
But
they're not going to do it, JT Daniels.
If any team is going to do it, Bandi, it's going to be Colorado, okay?
Yeah.
Deion Sanders.
I could see it. I could really see Colorado really making a huge turnaround, especially when Deion came out in that press conference. If you're not like fully committed to this program, like you're not really going to put like everything you got into this, you might as well go into the portal now.
Yeah, and I'm very excited for it because it's like Colorado. I think Colorado only won one game this season. Okay. And Colorado hasn't been that good, okay? They've never really been an amazing team as of late, okay? It's just something they haven't really done. Okay, so last season Colorado was rocking overall a 4-8, okay? So this season they got even worse, and they were rocking I lost where they were at. Here we go. I'm gonna find it real quick, and then we're gonna move on from here.
I say I was on the bowl scoreboard. I mean, I'm not gonna find them here. They didn't make a bowl.
1-11. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, it's one of the worst teams in all of America, and they might just get a little bit better, and it might be like a little rerun of what Tulane did this season. Yeah. And I'd love to see it. I want to see it. And you know what? Colorado is in the same conference as USC. It would be pretty funny if it ended up with Utah, USC, and Colorado being the best teams. Obviously, Washington's a spectacular team. Oregon's a spectacular team. This Pac-12, it is full of great teams. There's just no defense being played, okay? Yeah. That's the problem. That's why USC lost. They weren't able to play defense when they needed to. The 2 games they played last. And you know what? You got to think, hey, Caleb Williams, Heisman Trophy winner, 37 touchdowns plus on the season. Obviously plus because he had 5 in the last game. At the end of the day, though, it doesn't really matter because your team just overall cannot win games. The defense specifically, just ugly performance. If you guys have anything you want to throw in to that conversation, you can call us at 256-576-4977 because we'll be wide open until Deshaun Tate joins us at 3:30 to talk NBA stuff. But let's hop into a little bit of the news that you guys need to know on this beautiful January 3rd, 2022 day. This is what you need to know on the Blitz. Last night, we were stunned by a scary sight in the Bills versus Bengals game as Damar Hamlin collapsed after a routine tackle on T. Higgins for the Bengals. Hamlin was down and unresponsive for several minutes as staff and paramedics performed CPR and apparently were able to restore Hamlin's heartbeat on the field. However, the game inevitably was postponed due to the shocking injury. Turns out the 24-year-old safety went into cardiac arrest following the hit, which, if unattended to, could end a man's life. So, I mean, let me just say, credit to the staff getting out there as soon as possible. If you see this man stumbling, that is a scary sight to see. Bandi, did you watch this live? I want to ask that.
I didn't watch it live, but I did see footage of it and kind of what was going on after the play. But really good on the paramedics and the staff that were there, who were not only like prepared and ready, but got to them fast and gave him the care he needed as quickly as possible. Yeah. And I mean, really now it's. I think the latest update is that he's still in the hospital. Yeah. In a critical but stable condition, I believe. Like he's breathing regularly. He's got a heartbeat back. Yeah. So it's just kind of like we're waiting for a new update on that.
Yeah, and we'll be keeping you guys updated with it all together. I believe he's being assisted with the breathing as of now, but that's just something that kind of needs to happen. But again, we will keep you guys updated. And I mean, he's currently in the hospital. Okay. Yeah. So he's chilling right now. He is fine. Obviously, he's in critical condition, so he's not as fine as, most of us. So just make sure you guys are living every single day the best you can because anything crazy and unexpected can happen at any time, and it just happened to this young man. And, I mean, we'll be keeping you guys updated and just make sure you guys are keeping the prayers up for number 3 for the Bills because, I mean, this guy, he's got a bright future ahead of him, and we cannot wait to see him do what he needs to do. But then moving on, I know Bandi is kicking in the air with this one, okay? But, good on Donovan Mitchell because he had an elite performance last night against the Chicago Bulls, putting up a total of 71 points in a close game. He needed to do this.
He did need to do it. And I saw the amount of free throws he took. I mean, he took 25 free throws.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of free throws. But, I mean, you subtract that. I mean, 71 minus 25.
It's around like 48, 49. I don't know.
Wait, 71 minus 25. Is that 46?
Something around there.
Yeah, 46. I mean, he's still scoring 46 on his own without the free throws as well as multiple assists. I mean, yeah, he needed to pull this off. Am I kind of furious on the inside that he never had this kind of performance in Utah? Absolutely. Yeah. But at the same time, he's thriving in Cleveland. We've still got a solid team. I mean, I've got to move past it. So. Yeah. I mean, good on him. I'm glad he's setting those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
Now we just need Lauri Markkinen to drop 72.
Exactly. It'll make everything good in the world. I'll say this, okay? I know how you feel about players leaving and doing awesome things at other places. It's happened to the Cleveland Browns plenty of times. Honestly, this is the first time Cleveland has something to be excited about with having a new guy on the team that they actually look forward to. And you know what? It's a good mix because he is playing very well. But Mitchell also broke the point-scoring record set by LeBron and Irvin, and that was at 57 points on separate occasions, and joined the 70-point club with the likes of Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant, David Thompson.
I remember watching that Kobe game live.
Oh,
against the Toronto Raptors.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God. I'm trying to remember how old I was at the time. I was young.
So I would be 6. It was 2006. So
Let's
you'd be
see.
probably 9?
I was 9. I was
Yeah.
9 years old.
There you go.
But against the Toronto Raptors when he dropped 81, I mean, I don't remember it that vividly, but I still remember the key points where it just no one could guard Kobe.
Yeah.
Because in that time frame, he had probably the most unstoppable, consistent turnaround jumper in the NBA. And it just seemed like every time he did it, nobody could guard it.
It's insane.
Yeah, and he dropped it on Jalen Rose of all commentators.
Hey, that's where the Kobe comes from. Okay, that game every single time people say that is exactly where it's coming from. Because I mean, the guy obviously, people poke fun at how he used to have the ball. He used to be a little bit of a ball hog, but that's fine because he was the only guy that could really score on that Lakers team at times. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, at the Huntsville City Classic, I heard a high school kid do the same thing. But yo, Curry, and my heart hurt a little.
Oh yeah, that kind of hurts a little bit. But hey,
I'm like, you can't replace it. It's always Kobe.
Steph Curry's great in his own right, but let's come up with something else. I don't know, Curry buried it. I don't know, something stupid like that. I don't know. The kids are gonna come up with something. I don't know if you got something. 256-576-4977. I don't know. Don't at me at that one. But he also joins Devin Booker and David Robinson. And I mean, this performance goes down as the 8th highest scoring and the highest anyone has seen since 2006 with Kobe's 81-point game against the Raptors. And we also got to see a lot of other high-scoring basketball this weekend, so stay tuned for Deshaun Tate later in the show to cover all of that fun. Now, a little bit of gaming news, okay? Real quick, okay?
All right.
The popular FPS gaming series Payday is getting a 3rd installment and drew first blood for being the first game announced in 2023. At least AAA game. There's probably some little, games popping up out of nowhere. I don't know. That's just how it is. But Payday.
I think Bethesda's got something lined up.
Oh yeah, they do. That is gonna be a big one. Okay, they probably have a few games lined up that we've been waiting for a while now. But Payday 3 will follow the previous game in the franchise and will be running in Unreal Engine 5. So get ready for some crisp first-person shooter action. A trailer revealing the logo is up on Overkill Software's YouTube page, so go and check that out. And then moving on to some more sad news, especially for me and Bandi, because I felt like we were the only people who knew who this guy was, even though, everybody knows who this guy is amongst the car community or anything, but definitely not the best start to the new year with the loss of Ken Block, who passed away at the age of 55 in a snowmobile accident in Utah on Monday. Block helped co-found the skateboarding brand DC Shoes back in the 80s and has been a huge social media inspiration to the car culture community and references in racing video games such as Forza and Dirt Series by showing off the sweet rides Block has driven in past, such as the 2015 Ford Fiesta STRX 43. Of course, it's got to have the 43. Respect up to that number. The 1986 Ford RS 200, one of my personal favorites. I wish they still made something similar to it. And most notably, his 1965 Ford Mustang Unicorn RTR, which is just absolutely an icon of a vehicle. And it will be for the rest of our lives. So if you guys knew who Ken Block was, if not, either way, pour a Monster Energy drink out for him, because I mean this guy was such a big inspiration for a lot of people. So hey, that's how you start 2023. Hey, you know what? Me and Bandi, we're gonna face it head on, and just prayers going out to the Block family and just everybody who is affected by that one. But Bandi, I think it's time we hop into a break, because when we get back, you know what's up, Bandi. You know what's up.
NFL recap.
The NFL recap.
Let's do it.
Week what is it, 16? I forget there's 17 seasons now.
Oh, yeah. Also, tell your mom I said good games.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
game.
We'll get into that when we get back.
She destroyed me.
We'll get into it.
The Blitz has been called.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision overhead garage door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision overhead garage door service. Call 256-400-4500.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
The Blitz has been called.
You guys know what it is. Welcome back, everybody, to a Topical Tuesday here in No Man's Land.
Oh, Topical Tuesday.
What does a topical mean? What is topical, man? We're getting topical with these topics right now. That's what we're doing, baby.
Hey, eventually later, then you'll be tropical.
I know. Hey,
Tropical Tuesday.
Whenever it gets super humid out, we're going to call every single Tuesday Tropical Tuesday because we are going to be sweating. But not in the studio because the studios stay cold. I'll say that much. But, guys, welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry.
Yes, sir.
And make sure you guys find us online at @theblitz_sports. That'll be on the Twitter sphere and Twitch and YouTube at WZZN-TV. And if you want to join in on the conversation, we'll create an audible. 256-576-4977 is the number you need to call. And remember that this hour is presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. Guys, the weather is crazy outside, so make sure you get it checked and make sure you get it perfected by these guys over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Remember, these guys, they be showing up, and they be showing up every time you need them. So look them up and fill out your free quote today. Now, Bandi, I want to get right into the fun stuff. Honestly, I want to talk a little bit more about Damar Hamlin's little charity that he's got going on, which isn't so little right now.
Yeah, not anymore.
And then I got to get into the NFL recap, because that's just how it's got to go down. So that's all coming up on What's Cool.
It's getting hot in here.
Hot in here.
That's
Spicy meatball.
So it's time to cool down with Captain Cool.
You know what cool is?
Humanity.
You're looking at.
That's right. All right, let's start the cool segment with something that will remind us that humanity is still and always will be amazing, okay? I know we hear it left and right, the topics of the day usually not that good, not that great. We hear stuff by Cardi B, doesn't sound like humanity's in the right place, And now I hear a little bit of an echo going on with my voice. I hear it's like a tin can. I don't know what that is. I'm going to turn something down.
A tin can?
Yeah, I'm going to check it. No,
Oh.
It's still doing it.
Wait a minute. I think I heard a little bit of mine, too. Oh, wait. No.
All right, I'm just going to
Not
go
anymore.
off with that. I think it's gone now, okay? I think it's gone. Sorry, everybody. But as we
Could be the weather.
wait on the news of Damar Hamlin's condition, we sit in awe of the money his charity, Chasing M's Foundation Community Toy Drive, has made in wake of this injury from last night's game against the Bengals. His goal was set at $2,500, okay? That's 2500. And I think we can all say that he successfully reached that goal and more. Because now these needy children who need these little toys that they don't usually get, they have a little bit to look forward to. Because we look at this goal, and he's gained over $4 million since last night, Bandi.
$4 million?
I did two. $4 million, my dude.
$4 million.
Yeah.
He reached it. Pretty safe to say.
And counting, of course. But this is just amazing. First off, it shows, obviously it brings eyes on this one player, a little bit more than probably would have got on him. Okay, this injury is devastating, and obviously we hope the best for him moving forward. But let's hope when this is all said and done, we can all be celebrating the success of this cause. It may go down as one of the scariest moments in his life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people's lives, honestly. The people that were overlooking the game in the first place were probably a little shocked right off the bat as well. But also, this might be one of the best moments of his life because, when he wakes up, when he's, back in, the society of the world and stuff, he's going to look at this and he's going to be like, wow, this many people went out of their way and to support, not me, but the charity that I am, running, okay?
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about me, I'll be fine at the end of the day, but this is a bigger thing. And, I gotta say, I just want to give, hey, Chad, press the claps. I know Stu got it. Press the claps, Chad. There it is.
There it is.
Very nice. Good on humanity. I almost said humanity. No, it's not that.
Immunity?
All right, Bandi, you know what time it is, though. Moving on to the fun part of the show. At least, in my opinion, because I like doing it a little bit. I like doing it just somewhat, but you know what it is. Oh, yeah.
There we go.
It's time. Where are we going to start? Thursday night football. Cowboys-Titans. Joshua Dobbs got the start. Little local Tennessee hero. You know what? Titans lost 27-13, but you know what? Joshua Dobbs coming in, doing the performance he did. Not too bad for his first NFL start. 232 yards passing with 1 touchdown. Everybody else on the team is gone. But honestly, this is the most injured team in the league. Always is. It was the same thing last year. So you can't blame him too much. But Joshua Dobbs, good on you. You might get another start. Oh, wait, he does get another start next week against Jacksonville. Either way, Dak Prescott had himself a nice little game with 282 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb had himself 100 yards receiving as well. And the Cowboys continue to succeed, looking at a 12-4 record. Moving on to a game that I'd want to watch just if a meteor hit, because I don't want to watch it at all. I don't want any part of it. 2 teams succeeding that shouldn't be succeeding. The Steelers and the Ravens. That's right, we're going right to these guys. What are the Browns doing wrong in this conference? That's all I want to know. Steelers beat the Ravens. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is out of here.
Yep.
Huntley couldn't do it for the team. 130 yards passing with 1 touchdown. Mark Andrews had himself 100 yards receiving. Good on that tight end action stuff. He hasn't been doing too much, but he's finally making some more noise later on in the season. On the other side, Kenny throwing Pickett. Just kidding. He's got little hands, though. 168 yards passing by him with a touchdown, but Najee Harris was the performer with 22 attempts and 111 yards on the ground. Steelers take the dub in a low-scoring 16-13 game. Ravens fall to 10-6. Let me turn this as well. I'm going to let that fall as well.
All right.
Moving on, Vikings-Packers. Beautiful, beautiful rivalry matchup. Didn't look like it in this one. Whenever the Packers are home, they'll show you why they are still the Packers, okay, of Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers doing things, 159 yards passing with a touchdown. Alan Lazard was his main guy with 59 yards receiving, but it wasn't really any of their problem because their man Aaron Jones with 14 attempts and 111 yards rushing. On the other end, Kirk Cousins, nothing. He had 205 yards passing with a touchdown. That's about it. Now, on the other end, Aaron Rodgers also rushed for a touchdown, my dude.
He rushed?
He rushed for 1 touchdown himself. That's right. Old man's still got a few horses in the boots, I guess. I have no idea. But this team's 8-8, Bandi. And he says, go Browns, because the Browns are helping the Packers go forward.
It's like, what did they start out as? Like, they had, like, maybe 3 wins on the season? Like, what, like, what
I think
did they
they
say?
were
Like
4-7 at a point. Let me check.
Like they did not have a good record at one point, and now they've just been clawing their way back to try to get into the playoffs.
So this is what's going down with them. They started with a loss to Minnesota, then they won 3 straight. Lost to the Giants, lost to the Jets, lost to the Commanders, lost to the Bills, lost to the Lions.
2-6.
They then win against Dallas.
Okay.
They lose to the Titans. They lose to the Eagles.
They were 3-8.
And then they've won their last 4 games. Wait.
5. Wow, they started. They were 3-8 at one point. And have now won 5 in a row.
Yeah. Wow. They've won 4 in a row. I think you missed one. Either way, it doesn't really matter.
Maybe, yeah.
Either way.
Either way, 4 in a row, 5 in a row, that's still impressive. And now I feel like an idiot for not putting their defense in against this Vikings team.
Hey, it's okay because the Packers are 8-8, and their playoff chances are still mathematically alive. They're going to move on and do great things in the playoffs. Possibly. Who knows? Possibly. Vikings fall to 12-4. Moving on, Chargers versus the Rams. It's the Battle of California, a.k.a. the Battle of L.A. That's really all that matters. Baker Mayfield did little to nothing. I can feel happy that he's not on the Browns still. 132 yards passed by him. Cam Akers, on the other hand, 123 yards on the ground. Van Jefferson, 77 yards receiving. And then on the other end, Justin Herbert, 212 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler, 122 yards on the ground with 2 touchdowns himself, and Mike Williams with 94 yards receiving. Chargers dominating this one, winning 31-10. Moving on, 49ers, Raiders. Game probably shouldn't have been as close as it was, but you know what? They said, bye, Derek Carr. We're going to put in our second string, see what he could do.
Which, how did that work out?
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Actually, not bad.
Jarrett Stidman, whatever you want to call his last
Jared
name.
Stidham.
365 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. Brock Purdy said, I can do things. I'm not irrelevant, okay? He said 284 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. Obviously, he's going to go off. He's pretty good with it, okay? Yeah. Christian McCaffrey had himself a nice little day with 121 yards rushing with a touchdown. And Brandon Ayuk, 101 yards receiving with a touchdown himself. Josh Jacobs, 69 yards rushing. Nice. With a touchdown. And, of course, Devontae Adams. Probably happy with his new little quarterback he's got. Because he had 153 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Spectacular by him.
I mean, it is nice to see a quarterback from the SEC. I mean, Auburn, yeah. But still, my policy is once they get to the NFL, it's fair game. They're not part of the team anymore.
Forget about it.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And honestly, seeing Jarrett Stidham come out and be like, "Yo, did y'all forget that we have Devontae Adams on our team?"
Yeah.
And just went off. Yeah.
I mean, Devontae's been producing this entire season, but I mean, I don't know where the problem really lied. But I don't think it was Derek Carr. But in this game, it made it a little bit seem like it was Derek Carr. But I swear it wasn't. Derek Carr's been doing fine on the season, but you know what? They decided to make the change, and it was almost good enough to get them the win, but they dropped it 37-34 in overtime. That's right. Jets Seahawks next game. Geno Smith, 183 yards passing with 2 touchdowns himself. On the other side, Mike White got the start with 240 yards passing, and really just nothing. This game wasn't as productive as I'd want. The Jets still are just continuing to suck. They're 7-9 now. Seahawks 8-8. 23-6 was the end of this one, and it was just a solid game by the Seahawks. They just did a great job on defense to get the dub. And then moving on to the 3rd loss of the Eagles. This is big now, okay? These are big. These are big losses now, okay? They don't have Jalen Hurts, but Gardner Minshew's not a bad replacement. 274 yards passing and a touchdown, but he couldn't do the things that the Eagles wanted him to do, and that's win this game against the Saints of all teams, the 7-9 Saints. Either way, Andy Dalton threw 204 yards, okay? And Alvin Kamara had 74 yards on the ground. Pretty spectacular by these guys. And then a bunch of little touchdowns and field goals by the Saints themselves. And they get the dub. Their 7th win of the season, 20-10 over the Eagles, who are now scratching for that first place in the playoffs. And then moving on, the Dolphins and the Patriots, 2 teams that are sitting similarly in the record area. But one of them does not have their starting quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. But Teddy Bridgewater will take the helm. 161 yards passed by him and a touchdown himself. And then Mostert had himself a touchdown with 62 yards receiving. And Mac Jones, 203 yards passing with 2 touchdowns. And that's all she wrote. Very close game. Came down to the wire. 4th quarter. Spectacular. And the Patriots get the dub. Both teams sitting at 8-8 on the season. We're thinking, when are the Dolphins going to really pull away and be that team? They looked like it at the beginning of the season. Few sketchy injuries with Tua Tagovailoa. And now he's out again.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's going to happen. The Dolphins probably going to fall off. Probably going to fall off this season, but there's a lot to look forward to if you're a Miami fan. Moving on, Texans coming off of a hot win against the Titans last week. They thought, hey, let's just keep this rolling. And then they were like, oh, wait, we want the first pick in the draft, guys. We got to get these guys, okay? And they dropped an egg. Almost. It wasn't an egg just of yet, okay? The Jaguars did put a 31 on them. But the Texans didn't go out without a little bit of a fight. They put up 3. 3!
But, I mean, at the same time, it's like, yeah, we can ride this momentum to maybe another win against Jacksonville. Nah.
No.
Nah, they checked them at the door in their own house.
Yeah, they had to remind themselves what's on the line if they start winning too many games because the Bears also have 3 wins on the season. And they don't want them getting Bryce Young. I don't think the Bears would. They have a stellar quarterback in Justin Fields. Take that or leave it.
Yeah.
But either way.
Take it or leave it.
Jaguars get the dub. Trevor Lawrence played pretty good, 152 yards. But Travis Etienne was really the show right there. The 108 yards rushing and 1 touchdown. Sorry about that. And then Davis Mills on the other side had to rush for this team as well because they have nobody. The Jags are good. The Texans aren't good. Both ways, looking forward, I don't know what to expect. Jaguars should be good next season. Texans probably not going to be good next season, even if they have a beautiful rookie quarterback in Bryce Young. It doesn't really change anything, guys. And you know the Texans are going to start him right off the bat. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, but what does make me come away from this game, though, what I'm excited for is really to see how Trevor Lawrence is developing.
Yeah, he is.
Because he's really, I feel like he's really starting to step into his own as a starting NFL quarterback and starting to really get used to that position.
For sure.
And really against a team like the Texans, that really just kind of allowed him to just really showcase that ability. Like, he may not have had like huge numbers during this game.
Yeah.
But I mean, he showed off plays that shows that, yeah, I'm here and I'm here to stay.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, if you just focus on giving me protection, I can win y'all games.
I need the protection. That's what he needs first, okay? But
I need the line.
the Jags actually haven't had too bad of a season, especially with Trevor Lawrence just consistently improving. But he started out pretty good as well, okay? So people kind of saw glimpses of this is the future. But they lost their first game against Washington. Then they won 2 straight. Then they go on to lose not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 straight. They get a dub against the Raiders. Lose yet again. When you think, hey, maybe this team's going to be good, they play Kansas City. They lose by a few touchdowns, okay? They win against Baltimore. Close game, good game. 28-27 was the score in that one. Detroit, they lose. What are you doing? Detroit was on a hot streak at the moment. Then they beat Tennessee. Then they beat Dallas. Then they beat the Jets, okay? And then they beat Houston. They've had
Then they beat the Jets, all right.
2 easy games in the past 2 games, but still, 4-game winning streak is what they're on right now, and they're sitting hot at an 8-8 record. And then they're going up against Tennessee on week 18 or week 17. I don't really know. We're somewhere scattered in this freaking thing.
I know, we're in week 18.
Yeah, we're going to week 18. Okay, good stuff.
Yeah, and then the wild card.
Moving on, Colts Giants. Hey, you know what, Giants fans, be happy. You guys secured yourself a playoff spot.
You did it.
38-10 was the final in this one. Colts just consistently suck. They're terrible. Horrible team. Change out everything you need. Totally burn the facility down and build a new stadium. I don't care. Lucas Oil Stadium, you're pretty cool. But you know what? The team that you have in there is terrible. 4-11-1. That is this team. And you know what? I wouldn't be so mad if they didn't have, a spectacular Matt Ryan quarterback at the helm for most of the time. But now they got Nick Foles, and he's getting freaking snow. What is that? The snow. What? You make snow angels next to him.
Yeah, the snow angel. Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
I mean, I don't know about take it or leave it. That was just plain rude.
I thought it was hilarious. I also thought very disrespectful. Find him, do what you got to do.
I thought it was funny if it was just a sack until I found out he was hurt.
Yeah, but that stuff happens.
Yeah, it's like, and then you're literally doing it right next to him as like his teammates are checking over. I'm like, all right, dude, come on.
The disrespect. He does it for like 10 seconds straight.
Yeah, it's like, look, Terrell Owens could get away with it because of who T.O. was.
Yeah.
With those kind of celebrations and being that kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
You're not T.O.
Not T.O.
You can't do it.
Not T.O.
You're not Randy Moss.
It's true. Either way, Daniel Jones had himself a game with 2 touchdowns, 177 yards passing. And you know what? This guy can run. If you guys don't remember, white man can run, okay? Daniel Jones, 11 attempts rushing, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. And that's what I'm talking about. Nick Foles, on the other hand, 81 yards passing. Then he got injured.
Yep.
Zach Moss is 74 yards on the ground, and that's pretty much all she wrote. The Colts just couldn't do it. They scored 3 in the first to get ahead, and then they didn't do anything else except for in the third where they scored a little touchdown, but that's already when they were behind by way too much. 38-10 was the end of that one. Giants move on 9-6-1, and their playoffs are secured. Broncos Chiefs next game. Hey, Bandi.
Yep.
This game was actually pretty good.
Oh, was it now?
I will say it was pretty good. Russell Wilson, 221 yards passing with a touchdown. Murray had 56 yards on the ground. And I don't know how to say his name. 45 yards receiving with a touchdown himself. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, said, you know what? I can't let the 4-12 Broncos beat me. He said 328 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. And he said, let's get the dub here in Arrowhead. 27-24 was the score of that one. Bandi, what do you got to say on this one?
I mean, look, congrats to the Broncos for finally putting up more than 18 points.
Of course.
I'll give you that. Also, at the same time, you need a new coach. Get Jim Harbaugh. Get Jim Harbaugh in there.
Harbaugh, yeah.
Get someone in there.
Try that out, yeah.
Because even though you scored over 18, I can't watch your games. I can't stand Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I can't stand watching these guys play.
Needed a little bit more defense.
If it weren't for the Texans, I think they're the worst team in the league.
Really?
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna let you
Except
have that.
Except for the Texans. Yeah.
I'd say the Colts are also pretty bad, but that's just me.
Man, I'll take the Colts at this point.
Okay.
At least they're more fun to watch.
Not in the last game, but I will agree with you. For most part, they are fun to watch compared to the Broncos, who just...
At least they have a coach.
The Broncos just feel like copy and paste games, okay? We got to get through this. We got to get through this because we still got a few games to go into. Browns, Commanders. Let me tell you, Deshaun Watson's getting comfortable. 3 touchdowns passing in this game, okay? Nick Chubb also getting comfortable. They were doing what the fans want this entire game. And you know what? Nick Chubb only had 14 rushes, but that's fine because he had 104 yards rushing. Okay, Amari Cooper, 105 yards receiving with 2 touchdowns. This kid's spectacular. Let him stay on the team for years to come. He's better than both Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham combined, and he's also taller than them too. Carson Wentz, on the other hand, sucks. 143 yards. Yes, I will be one of the only sports analyst persons to say that about it. I don't want Carson Wentz to be the leader of this team. Tyler Heineke was doing a great job, and I'm going to wait until he's back so he can be playing on this team and actually winning games. Brian Robinson, on the other hand, he's good. He's a good running back.
He's good, but it was a dud of a game.
But it was a dud of a game. He only had 87 yards rushing and no touchdowns for him. But you know what? The Commanders fall to 7-8-1, and the Browns looking to go into – where do they play last? They got to play the Ravens again? Ugh. They got to get one more win.
I could see them winning it, too.
They could.
No Lamar Jackson, yeah. I could definitely see the Browns taking it.
Let's go, Browns. Get 8-9. That'll be a successful season. I will be happy with, okay? Either way, Deshaun Watson's coming into his own right and should be good on this last game moving into the next season as well. Lions-Bears next game. Lions wearing the jerseys they should have wore on Thanksgiving. I'll say that right off the bat. And you know what? They won 41-10. Bears couldn't get it done. They started doing well in the beginning. They actually outscored the Lions 10-7, but then Justin Fields couldn't do anything passing, and it all came down to his feet, where he rushed for 132 yards. But Jared Goff said, I can actually throw touchdowns, my dude, and he threw 3 with 255 yards passing, and Jamal Williams. You know what? I had him on my bench.
Oh, no.
I kind of gave up on fantasy football. I'm not in the Super Bowl, which we'll talk about a little bit more with you, Bandy, in this closing segment in the next. 144 yards by this kid, 22 attempts, 1 touchdown, and it was all she wrote. 41-10 was the score. Buccaneers versus the Panthers. Buccaneers finally showing out and showing up. And same pretty much story as the Packers this entire season. Tom Brady, 432 yards passing with 3 touchdowns. Mike Evans, 207 yards receiving with 3 touchdowns. This kid's constantly spectacular, and this is his 9th consecutive 1,000-yard season.
If you want to know why I lost in fantasy, this is why.
Oh, my gosh.
This is why.
Golly. Sam Darnold didn't do too bad, though. 341 yards passed with 3 touchdowns himself. And Dante Moore, 117 yards receiving with a touchdown. 30-24, not a bad game, but the Buccaneers looking a little bit better nowadays. Good on them. Good on Tom Brady. And then the last game, because the Bills and the Bengals game obviously was postponed, and we don't know when it's coming. Okay, we have no idea. But the Falcons defeat the Cardinals 20-19 with Desmond Riddle. Is this his first win?
Desmond Riddle's?
Chad!
Is this Desmond Riddle's first win? Ritter.
Yeah, it's Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
I knew his name. I know his name. I accidentally said that, and then Benny just went off with it.
Yeah, I know. You also keep saying Tyler Heineke.
I do say that, and I will
it's Taylor Heineke.
I will take the loss. I just think Tyler sounds a little bit better. Did I say that earlier?
Yes.
I said that earlier.
You said it. You said it every time.
Squad. I tried to adjust to whatever you told me to. Either way, Falcons get the dub, 6-10, where the Cardinals are 4-12. Both teams not too good. Don't tell that to Chad. Either way. 20-19 was the finishing score. We'll figure out what the Bengals and Bills are going to do, but we're going to hop into a break, guys, because we're going over. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to close out this first hour, and we're going to talk about how destroyed Bandy feels about getting beaten by my mom. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
And welcome back, everybody. Topical Tuesday here in No Man's Land. Welcome back to the Afternoon Blitz on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi Man, Bailey Larry.
Yep.
And, we've had a lot of fun as of late. This whole episode's been a lot of fun. Obviously, there's a lot of drama and a lot of sadness going around in the world today, but at the same time, it's the start of a new year. Obviously, we want our first show of the year to bring all of the energy you guys can expect from the Afternoon Blitz because, hey, we're a bunch of young bucks out here, and obviously, we can bring the energy unlike other people because, we just got a lot of testosterone. We could yell at the mic all day, honestly. Honestly. Yeah, honestly.
But you know what?
Talk about your experience over the weekend, Bandi.
Okay, let me pull up this current matchup. Okay, so I lost in the Super Bowl. This is my first Super Bowl ever, by the way.
Yes, sir.
I've never made it to a Super Bowl in fantasy. I lost 153-92.
Dang. Well, first off, let's just say congrats to getting to the Super Bowl in the first place. You just beat a lot of people who play a lot of football. So if you guys were in the league with us, you guys all stink. I stink. I'm one of those people, so either way. But Bandi, talk a little bit more about it before we hit this break.
No, you don't stink. Mike Evans dropped 48.
Oh, holy crap.
How do I beat that?
You don't. You just give up.
Because Brian Robinson didn't perform for me. Ramondre Stevenson didn't perform for me. Justin Jefferson and the Vikings got wiped.
Aww.
The Ravens defense didn't do jack. I had the Green Bay defense on my bench who dropped 23. And even then, that wouldn't have helped me.
Nope. Hey, but you
so
know
honestly, congrats to your mom to winning the DFL.
That's a third ring in the house. I'm very upset with you, Bandi. There's too many rings.
I'm coming back for it next year.
Please do. And you know what? You're probably going to be going up against me because the Blitz boys are on the rise.
But we're coming back with the E play-by-play.
And that'll be fun.
And then we're going to be talking basketball with Deshaun Tate at 3:30. So do not go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits.
This hour of The Blitz is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Online at FlemingHSV.com. Welcome to the evolution of sports radio.
You see, in this industry, just like in life, everything evolves.
Call 256-576-4977 to make your audible for the Blitz.
Batman is playing Galaga. Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
It's the Afternoon Blitz. Here are your hosts, Captain Cool and the Bandi Man.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Network. I'm the Bandi Man, Bailey Lowry, joined across the glass, across the aisle by Captain Cool, John Abraham.
Yo!
You know what? We got some interesting news out. Actually, for right now, it just broke that the U.S. men's national team is investigating their coach, Greg Berhalter, for an altercation between him and his now wife, Rosalind, for an incident that happened in around 1991, where he allegedly kicked his wife in the leg.
Oh.
Now, here's what kind of confuses me about this. He's already said he's did it.
Okay.
So what is there to investigate?
How hard did he kick her wife?
It seems like he put out in a public statement that he did it, he's gone to therapy, and that they've now moved past this, and they've been together ever since.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like, to me, what is there to investigate?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it happened so long ago, and now people are starting to kind of find out and, escalate it, kind of like a snowball effect. And then they don't understand that a lot of these people, they do these things, and obviously, they have to deal with them in their own personal way. And before media was such a big deal, obviously, it's not going to get out as fast. Nowadays, media moves like a wildfire. So that's why it's going so quickly. Everybody's making a big deal out of it. They're going to try and look into it. And it's like, on the personal side of things, yeah, people do things, they do wrong things. But at the same time, they don't need everybody to know that they are able to fix it and move on from these things. So it's just one of those things that media likes to throw out of proportion. So continue on that one, Bandi.
But we've also got some good video game news
Perfect.
today. I mean, I'm going to kind of run down really what 2023 is going to be looking like for gaming, because it's going to be an exciting year.
Nice.
We've already got a lot of good AAA titles looking to be released in 2023. NVIDIA has just announced their 4070 Ti graphics card. My God.
Another one.
And we actually have breaking news.
Oh.
We have the first ever union in gaming. Or like, it's the largest certified union in gaming.
Oh, okay.
That's all coming up here on the E Play-by-Play.
Time to catch up on esports with E Play-by-Play with the Bandi Man.
Now, I want to go straight into this union story because according to a tweet today, ZeniMax workers have won their union election, making them the first official bargaining unit of Microsoft and the largest certified video game studio union in the U.S.
Okay.
The company has formally recognized the union with CWA Union. What a way to start 2023. Now, what this includes, it's 300 workers are going to be a part of this union, and it covers like QA, like quality assurance testers, so like people who test the games, play around with it extensively, try to bug find, like essentially try to find the broken stuff that is in the game before release, so the developers can then patch it out.
Okay.
Make sure it's all quality assurance.
Quality.
Boom, connects together. But these 300 workers include people from id Software, Bethesda, Arcane Studios, and what's great about this is that Microsoft has formally and fully agreed to their terms.
Nice.
And I think this might be the first time I've ever really encountered a union before in its 48-year history, which is crazy to think about. But now, if this also sets a precedent, if this group could unionize so easily, I mean, a lot of other group workers could. And this could really just be seen as a benefit for both parties. I mean, they get the union, they get their benefits, and then Microsoft is also getting, on top of that, happy workers, and therefore good products. People who want to work on the products they're making, and therefore will put a lot more passion into it.
Exactly.
And make out good games.
And I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? I'm all for Microsoft being, for the people, because this is adding on to, they're not doing anything wrong, or they're not trying to do anything wrong. They're trying to build gaming and move forward to make the greatest experience that we can have as gamers. And even with their people who, the people that are working and the people that are unionizing against all these bigger companies, they're still all for it, because this is the stuff they want. They want everybody to come together, be happy, play the games they love, and also love to create the games that we love. And this is something that we need to see more of in maybe, other countries like Japan with anime, maybe?
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms we have to go into on a different day.
Love to see it.
Because the animation industry over in Japan is, I've heard horror stories about it.
They literally work themselves to death, Bandi.
But according to quotes provided by Axios, different QA testers said they hoped this would end, quote, sudden periods of crunch, unfair pay, and lack of growth opportunities within the company.
Okay.
We look forward to engaging in good faith negotiations as we work toward a collective bargaining agreement. Now, which, good to see. Good to see. Good on you, Microsoft.
Totally agree.
NVIDIA, oh my gosh. I mean, I have a 3080 Ti myself, which that's probably more than enough to really run just about anything you would ever want.
Yeah, exactly. Well, can you play Happy Wheels?
Oh, probably.
Okay.
You could probably run Happy Wheels pretty well.
Probably.
But they've just announced their 4070 Ti after not too long ago releasing the 4070.
Oh, golly.
What this means, and it's already going to be starting priced out at $800.
Did they have like a huge thing where people were buying them like as soon as they came out and reselling them for even more, like jacked prices, just huge?
Yeah, because I mean, parts are in short supply right now.
Yeah, especially during COVID, and that's when I know like a lot of that stuff was going down. So I mean, they're coming out with another one. I don't know all the technical terms to all this stuff, so I want you to like break it down for me, give me the specs and stuff like that, and how I'm probably not going to be able to get my hands on this, especially for me because I'm a console user.
Yeah, and now, well, actually, the real flagship was the RTX 4090.
Okay.
That was the latest one they released, but here's the thing. Due to a controversial connector cable, it melts.
Okay, so the new one shouldn't do that, correct?
Yeah, no, you should not have a connector cable that melts. That's not. Yeah, that's gonna destroy your PC.
Of course.
Without even saying. But, I mean, again, just from what I've seen with the specs on this thing, it can run anything you would ever want. I mean, this is just the definition of overkill for a PC. Now, if you're doing stuff that involves like 3D modeling, if you're one of those like animators who really just want to get in with the Blender program and go into 3D modeling, yeah, you're gonna need a beefy graphics card. It takes a lot.
Or you're creating a game on Unreal Engine, and
Yes.
it takes a lot of the processing power that does. Because even this type of stuff I wouldn't need for editing, because most of it is for gaming related stuff, like either creating games or even playing games. And I know, I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 is a lot to handle, but even for that game, this is a little overkill.
Yeah. Now, I want to get into, this is the main story, the main stuff I want to talk about.
Okay.
What's coming out in 2023?
Ooh.
A lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff has been announced, and a lot of stuff I'm super excited for.
Nice.
I mean, Fire Emblem Engage coming out on the Switch at the start. Fire Emblem is a good game.
Yeah.
If you like anime chess, go for it. Good game. Forspoken, I don't have high hopes for this game at all. Forspoken, I don't see it. I don't see this working at all. I've seen gameplay of it. The gameplay looks cool. I'll give it that. Like really good particle effects. It looks really good in motion, really good animated wise. I cannot stand how the protagonist talks.
But how does she talk? Isn't she based after like
she talks like a Marvel character.
Oh, she's based after like an actual actress, right?
I actually don't know that.
Okay,
off the top of my head.
I think she just looks like somebody. What is it? Is it Gary? No. I have to look into that a little bit more. But this kind of looks like a more like natural open world version of Infamous. Yeah, Infamous. That's at least what I'm kind of getting from the looks of it.
And you know what even irks me even more?
What?
It's an isekai.
It's an isekai?
Yeah. So those who don't know what that means, it's just like a term for when like the main character of a story is taken out of his usual element, usually like a world or something, and put into another.
Okay.
Basically transported from one world to another.
Mm.
The thing is, this is being written by Rogue One's Gary Whitta, Uncharted's Amy Hennig, and Todd Stashwick, and Shadowhunter's Allison Reimer. And like the Uncharted series, I think it's a well-written series.
Rogue One's a spectacular movie, by the way.
Yes, I haven't played Shadowhunters or actually heard of Shadowhunters. I don't even know if it's a game or not.
Same here.
But I mean, it's probably pretty good if they got Allison Reimer from it.
Yeah, and it turns out that the actress who actually plays the main character is Ella Balinska.
Ella Balinska.
So it turns out she's a real actress, and I guess she's doing a little mocap, a little voice acting. Maybe she does. I wonder if she does actual movies or if she's just a voice actor. No, she definitely does. Okay, she does.
Yeah, but I just need you to watch the trailer for this like during the break at some point because I mean the writing is looking like it's heading in a terrible direction.
A little bit of Need for Speed Unbound.
But you know what's not? Maybe worse than that.
Oh.
But what's not heading into the ground and what's going to be heading straight into my Steam library is the Dead Space remake coming out in January 27th to be exact, and I cannot wait.
It's going to be very exciting. Is it going to drop on Game Pass? Is that one thing that, because I know all the other ones
It
are
is
on.
not.
Oh, okay.
It is not going to drop day one on Game Pass, sadly.
Dead one.
But at the same time, Dead 1. Dead Space 1. But at the same time, if any of y'all play any horror game in your life, there's Dead Space 1 would definitely be one of them. If you don't get your hands on the remake, that's fine. Play the original on like the PS3, Xbox 360, all that. Go back and play it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
The graphics still hold up today, and I mean, then looking at the actual comparison between the remake and the original, you look at the old graphics, you're like, these looked a lot better back in the day, and the new ones look exactly how we thought the game looked because holy crap, the detail on this new one is nice.
It looks good. Hogwarts Legacy coming out in February 2023, February 10th to be exact. with some PlayStation exclusives, of course.
Of course.
But you know what? You get to free roam in Hogwarts, be your own character, and explore the world of Harry Potter. So you know what? I'm probably gonna if I get around to getting my hands on it, I'm gonna try it because it does look really good.
Yeah, I've seen some gameplay on it, and what's the horse bird called?
Oh, the
Gryffindor? No.
Is it the Griffin?
It's something like that. I just know I thought it was a Pegasus at first when I saw it.
I know like the actual name of the one that Hagrid has is Buckbeak.
Okay, Buckbeak. You just go off of that then.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the actual thing is called.
Okay. Well,
but yeah, you get your own Buckbeak.
You get the point. But you get to fly on broomsticks around all of just the Hogwarts plus the open world area. That a lot of it is original, so it's like stuff we haven't seen before, but it fits in so well with the rest of the world, and I think it's going to be a great game as long as it is finished and it doesn't, turn into a buggy mess.
Yes, exactly, which we're going to be talking about Bethesda a little later. Atomic Heart coming out February 21st. I mean, it looks like a Wolfenstein, except with the Germans taking over, like the alternate timeline. It was the Russians.
Yeah.
And, again, goes into, like, a very, I wouldn't say, what did I say, cyberpunk? Cyberpunk-ish?
Kinda.
A little bit.
It's on the edge.
Kinda,
it's on the edge.
I don't know, maybe more like dystopia.
Yeah. I'd say dystopia.
Yeah, because it's like everything's mechanical and like they built machines that are like taken over. They've just absolutely advanced their war effort. Like it looks like a crazy story.
I'd say,
but one I'm excited to get into.
It seems like the Prey universe. The Prey games.
Yeah.
But like then changed with obviously the who's it, the Russians?
Yeah, the Russians.
The Russians take over and add in their like nice little sparkly stuff. Make it look like the one futuristic episode of SpongeBob where everything's chrome pretty much.
March is also looking like a pretty big month. I mean, Star Wars Jedi Survivor and the Resident Evil 4 remake coming out in the same month.
Very nice.
I mean, that's really splitting my pockets two ways. It's like, do I go with what I think's probably going to be the best horror game of the year, or do I go with what could be the best action adventure of the year?
Either way, both solid games.
Yeah, I mean, you really can't go wrong with each one.
Yeah.
And then you got the System Shock remake coming out in March.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that game.
The game that first inspired BioShock. Like the one that actually started it all. It's not the predecessor to BioShock. It inspired it.
Yeah.
But still, play the first System Shock if you haven't already, and then play the remake. It looks great.
Yeah, the remake looks very fun, and I'm just looking forward to all the techno music and all the cyberpunk and synth wave to go down because it's going to be amazing.
And then Dead Island 2 coming out in April.
Is it though?
I mean, it got delayed again, but I mean, it's the joke at this point. It's been delayed so long. At this point, we don't mind it being delayed just a little bit longer. We actually have news on the game. We have a slated release date, and we've seen gameplay. Yeah. At this point, make sure it's polished and make sure it's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, if you were going to pick this up 3 years ago, you're still probably going to pick it up. And again, take all of these games with a grain of salt because they could get postponed because a lot of them actually are, as of late, like Halo, like BioShock, or not BioShock, sorry, Fable, like, all the other big IPs out there.
Yeah, and again, I mean, Fable's actually getting a remake, apparently. It looks good.
Dude.
You saw the CG trailer?
It's going to take a long time, but I'll say this. I've been a big fan of the Fable series since I was very young, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, let's see. What else is coming out? Oh, we actually have in May. Yep, May 12th, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. The Breath of the Wild sequel. If you still haven't played Breath of the Wild at this point and you have a Switch, you're doing yourself a disservice. At this point, play it. That's all I can say. It's one of the best Zelda games ever made, if not the best. And I bet Tears of the Kingdom is going to live up to everything a Breath of the Wild sequel should be.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of good sequels, June 2023, Street Fighter 6, my most anticipated fighting game of the year. Oh boy, please let this game come out. I haven't gotten into both closed betas. Let there be a third so I can maybe just have a shot.
There might just be a free one for you guys who haven't gotten in yet.
Please, let there be an open beta. But you know what's crazy? Right after that, Diablo 4 comes out.
Oh, I forgot about Diablo 4.
And then right after that, Final Fantasy 16 comes out. June's a huge month for the world of games. And especially if you're a single-player RPG fan like me, yeah, Final Fantasy is a great series. And Final Fantasy 16 with their kind of new restyle combat that they've been doing since 15, it looks great. It looks great.
Looks spectacular. Super realistic. Super beautiful.
So these next slate of games we don't have a definitive month for, but they're slated for spring 2023. Forza Motorsport. Next Forza game, Minecraft Legends. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I mean, it's another Minecraft spinoff.
I know a little bit about this one. I'm pretty sure it is a. It's more of like a. What is it? A Dynasty Warriors type game?
It looks like a real-time strategy game. Yeah, like
it could be one. It could be one of the two, but I know that it's more just like more action involved. You know, like more like there's probably gonna be a story to it, of course. But it's kind of. I remember when this came out, it was kind of ripping off. I believe Captain Sparkle's little videos he used to do. Where it's like,
yeah.
You know, you gotta protect the kingdom, and like there were music videos and stuff. A lot of it very similar to that. You guys can just go check out the trailer on the YouTubes right now.
Which did you know he made another one of those?
Another?
Yeah, he actually made a new one.
Captain Sparkles?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
I'm gonna have to let the old lady know that.
So, these next couple games, again, no slated release date, just said for first half 2023. So probably like sometime May to June.
Okay.
Or like January to June. The Hollow Knight sequel. IGN actually picked this as the best Metroidvania-like game of Metroidvania game of all time, which ironically beat out Metroid itself.
Jeez.
Which, I mean, I can't really agree to. I haven't played Hollow Knight too much, but I have enjoyed with what I've played, and it is slated to come out day one on Game Pass.
Nice.
Homeworld 3, I don't know much about Homeworld or the Homeworld series, but apparently apparently Homeworld 2 came out 20 years ago.
It's old. It's an old franchise.
This is the one I'm waiting. I've been actually one of the two. Redfall. Redfall is going to be an open world vampire shooter from Prey developer Arcane Austin. It's going to be co-op as well, up to 3 friends.
Yeah.
And you explore the quaint little island town of Redfall, Massachusetts, where vampires, human cultists, and quote twisted vampire gods run loose. I mean, open world co-op horror game? Yes, please.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm a fan of the forest. Let's do it.
I remember seeing the trailer on, what was it, Microsoft Showcase they did, which was pretty much their E3 for last year. And I got to say, it was one of the more flashy games that they dropped. But I will say that I don't know if it's my style, but it does look like a hero-based, team, like type of Left 4 Dead type of game. And I'm all for that. And I like the hero-based aspect. But hopefully it's not too goofy because, I mean, those too goofy games.
Too goofy.
They do a little too much to where it's just like they die instantly. And I think one of them, I forgot the exact name for it, but it's still trying to be a thing.
Back 4 Blood?
It's not Back 4 Blood. It is more of a hero-based game. It was like, I'll have to look into it a little bit for you. But it was just like where it was too zany to where people just couldn't get into it.
I gotcha. But here's the big one for 2023. And what I think will probably be the biggest release of the year, if they don't fumble it.
Okay.
Starfall. Or Starfield, I mean.
Starfield, yeah.
Starfield. This is, again, coming from Bethesda, and this is reportedly going to be the biggest game they've ever made. They've likened it to Skyrim in space. Over 1,000 planets to explore, and a main quest line that runs roughly 20% longer than any previous Bethesda game to date.
Wow.
This is going to be the biggest release of the year, and I imagine what's going to be like, I mean, again, God of War Ragnarok released last year, when Elden Ring released last year, just how big that was. I mean, this is dropping day one on Game Pass as well, exclusively on Xbox.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's going to only come out on the newer consoles because it is way too big to come out on the older generation.
Yeah, it's only coming out on the Series X/S and PC. You're not going to be able to play this on the original Xbox One.
But it looks amazing. It looks so good.
It does look really good.
How many gigabytes is this thing going to be, and how much is it going to take up in the Xbox?
I don't know. I'm excited.
Nobody knows yet? Okay, well, we'll keep you guys updated on that.
They haven't released that yet, and also Ark 2. Ark Survival Evolved 2.
It's got Vin Diesel riding dinosaurs.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that.
It's a little weird.
But apparently the first Ark is, I've heard, just a huge time sink. It's like one of those Monster Hunter kind of games where you got to put in a lot of time to get a lot out of it, but apparently that time is worth it.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy 14, Ark Survival Evolved. But I don't have that kind of time anymore.
I don't either.
I'm not in high school.
No, we don't have those times. And I remember my buddy actually used to play to Ark, the first one, and it reminded me a lot of like Rust and all those other popular survival games, where you're dropped into a big world. But it never really tickled my fancy, and I don't know how this one's going to do so, but it looks like it has more of a story over just the multiplayer aspect of it.
Now, one game I wanted to talk about a little bit. If I told you, well, you did bring up Payday 3.
Yep.
And I love me some Payday 2.
Okay.
So I love me some Payday. But if I told you that there's going to be a Souls-like game, like a Dark Souls-like game, based around Pinocchio.
You lost me.
Would you believe me?
I'm already lost. I have no idea what you're going to be talking about here.
But it's going to be called Lies of P.
Okay.
It actually looks pretty dang good. I'm not going to lie. But it's based off the classic 19th century tale, and it's going to feature RPG mechanics as long as with like its own interpretation of Pinocchio, Geppetto, and even Jiminy Cricket.
First off, I want to just say, I like the name. Okay?
Yeah, Lies of
P. You know, first off, and not because I think it's funny because it says P, everybody.
It sounds edgy.
It sounds edgy, and it's also like, it is like an edgier version of Pinocchio. You know, it's just like the Lies of P, which P probably stands for Pinocchio or just his weapon that he has because it looks like the weapon that he has.
What's got me is the lying mechanic that they're going to introduce. Like, there's going to be some tie-in to lying with Pinocchio, and I'm not sure how it's going to work yet, but just the idea of that's got me curious.
Yeah, intrigued at least.
A little bit of brainstorming. But I'm going to wrap this up with one of my most anticipated games of this year that I hope does not fly under the radar.
Okay.
Because Telltale Games is back. They closed in 2018, but they are now back under new management, and with that, the return of a lot of their franchises, including The Wolf Among Us 2.
Wow.
This is going. I loved the first game, The Wolf Among Us, because I do really like these point-and-click style story-centered games.
Yeah.
And Telltale, they made the trademark off making incredibly well-made ones. I mean, they turned there was like a whole new resurgence in the Walking Dead show because the games were that good.
Oh yeah.
And they were that good of a story. And The Wolf Among Us kind of sets place in like Fabletown, and you're now what used to be the big bad wolf or the sheriff of the town.
Yeah.
So
didn't this game get pushed back a little bit as well?
It did a little bit.
Okay.
It did, but that was primarily due to them closing down in 2018.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like it had been announced back then, like, hey, we're making Wolf Among Us 2, like we're gonna start working on it, and then our studio shut down.
Okay.
But now we're back under new management. We have a trailer. It's moving forward, and it's slated for release in 2023, so I am more than excited.
Very nice.
But we're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, Deshaun Tate is going to talk some basketball with us, and I am more than excited for that. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well to try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
When I chose the Garage Door Company, I did my homework. I needed precision overhead garage door service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Hello, listeners. I want to tell you a little bit about Minuteman Press and what we have to offer our community. We specialize in paper printing and can help from designing your piece to the finished product. We print media guides for many of the athletic departments at high schools and universities around the area. We typically purchase sponsorships from these schools as well, try and help them with their fundraising. Once we have reached our new normal, we also print all types of marketing materials for you to hand out either in person, via mail, or at various trade shows and events. At Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Rambo Marine in Hazel Green is your one-stop shop for all things boating. Whether you are ready to surf with the newest Malibu wake boat or cruise in a Cobalt or Barletta pontoon, we have a boat ready for you and your family. Rambo Marine provides exceptional service second to none, so that you are ready to hit the water in no time. Stop by Rambo Marine today. We know boats.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
The Blitz has been called.
Welcome back in, everybody, to the afternoon Blitz here on the Tennessee Valley Blitz Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandi man, Bailey Lowry.
Hello.
And if you guys want to find us on the socials, you can find us at on Twitter at the Blitz_sports, as well as on Twitch and YouTube at WZZNTV, where you guys can watch me and Bandi talking in the studio, and you can join in on the conversation by just chatting with us, and we will keep up with all you guys got to talk about. You can't join us now because we finally have our one guest that we wanted to really just hype up throughout this whole thing. I know Bandy's been hyping it up. He's been ready to just talk basketball. Deshaun Tate is with us from, you know what? We're gonna have to get everything from this guy, okay? Because holy crap, what a weekend it was in basketball. But let me tell you guys, this hour is presented by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place to get the best vehicles for the best prices. Drive home in a brand new 2022 Ford Bronco, Mustang, or if you're into trucks, they have a plethora of nice ones for you. Bobby White and his crew will take care of you guys, so find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. All right, Deshaun, we kept you waiting long enough. We've kept the listeners waiting long enough. It's time to talk some basketball. Deshaun, how are you doing today?
Outstanding. I mean, listen, I am 13 days in. Thanks for asking. 13 days in of being a first-time dad. I haven't slept a lick.
Yes.
Okay. So that just gives me a time to stay up, late, watch some hoops, 94 feet, 50 feet, 94 feet long, 50 feet wide, and I've been in my element. A little bit sleep deprived, but that's okay, man. We're still standing. We're here, and I'm ready to talk about some basketball.
Very nice, and congratulations on the new kid. That's very
Thank you.
awesome. And going into the new year, I mean, it's definitely something to look forward to. It's the gift that keeps on giving, really. So
yes, it is.
We hope you had a wonderful holiday, break and all that stuff. But it's time to get back into it. Already have basketball. It's gonna keep moving, okay? And I know Bandy's got plenty to get into. So Bandy, you can take this one away.
I mean, we can just start out with the Hawks and the Warriors game, which is the first game I watched. 143 to 141 in overtime. Is this really the return of Klay Thompson? It's looking like he never really got injured the way he played in this game.
Yeah, it's crazy to think this, first of all, where you have scores like 141, 143, yes, 2 overtimes, but even in regulation where there's a lot of points being scored, we're almost at 20 years, very close to being anyway, since the bad boy, or the new generation bad boy Pistons, that is, back in 2004, held opponents to under 70 points in a game. You wouldn't hear about these type of scores like what we saw on last night, even the one between Chicago and Cleveland, which I'm sure we're going to get into. You wouldn't hear about scores like that unless it was the All-Star game. Now you have the lowest scoring team in the NBA putting up at least 100 points. So that's crazy within what it is.
Yeah,
Congratulations to somebody like a Klay Thompson who have, in a roundabout way, kind of lived in the shadows of number 30 and all the things that, Klay has endured over the last couple of years. Give him his credit. This also being a team that, didn't have Steph Curry on it, didn't have Andrew Wiggins active either. And for what it's worth, because we know that they build so well within that franchise, didn't have Jonathan Kuminga, who's their kind of next coming up star, somewhat, if you will. So, the Hawks got some things to figure out. There's been some reports about new coaches, and there's a lot of moving parts within that franchise as well. But how about all these points being scored? You got Klay Thompson with his 54. Terrible for the Hawks because what was it? The game before that, or a game or two before that, they had the Lakers. LeBron on his birthday with 47. You see Donovan Mitchell with 71. Klay or Donovan Mitchell overshadows DeMar DeRozan, who had 44. Luka had 60 a couple nights ago. How can you not love this game?
Right. It's like, and not only that, I just noticed it just going down the scoreboard. Every single winner in each game scored over 100, and actually every team yesterday scored over 100 except for the Phoenix Suns against the Knicks.
Yeah, crazy, right?
I've never seen a scoreboard like this before, like where it's all triple digits. But at the same time, it just makes me more excited for all these high-energy, high-explosive scores that we have in this league right now. I mean, literally, case example of Donovan Mitchell dropping 71. Which, why couldn't he do that with Utah?
I might be a little bit of the, I don't want to sound like the old grumpy, get off my lawn old guy or anything. I would love to see a little bit more defense. I'll tell you what, I even proposed this to someone on my podcast. Go and check it out anywhere you find your favorite podcast. All Atlanta Hawks called Nothing But Nest.
Oh, yeah.
But I was telling my co-host, Caleb Johnson, I said, if we can just get one game where the players that would agree to it and so forth, I would love to see just one game played the way that it was in the 80s and 90s. Now, I don't want to confuse the people when I say that, to have them thinking, oh, bad boy Pistons beat people up when you come in the lane. It just has a different feel of competitiveness a little bit. And I know that some of the rule changes, amongst other things, have kind of changed that a little bit. But for me, being a person who kind of enjoys or embraces hanging their hat on that defensive side of the ball, being a defensive anchor mentality type of game. I love those muck-it-up games so much. Don't want to see someone score. I don't love all the time the idea of it's going to be a complete shootout and it's just going to be a bunch of run-it-up scores. Whoever has the ball at the last possession is likely going to be the one to win the game. I like to see people go out there and get some stops. Just give me one game to the Commissioner Silver.
Oh, my gosh. Deshante with us. Does a fantastic job of covering everything hoops. And, I mean, kind of like we were saying, I feel like, to me, kind of following up on that, the Defensive Player of the Year position, like back in the 80s and 90s, meant so much more, really, than it does now. I mean, I was glad as a Utah Jazz fan that Rudy Gobert was winning it pretty consistently over a little bit of a stretch. But at the same time, like he wasn't playing the same kind of defense that would have won him DPOY as those players back then, like a Sidney Moncrief or Michael Jordan played him in the 90s.
That is a very good point. And I think I mentioned this to you. If I didn't, please forgive me. That's one of the things that I enjoyed the most about a guy from right out of here, out of Atlanta, that plays on that team, is that Colin Sexton plays with this edge, and I guess the new cool kids now are calling it dog or whatever else, but just has that edge. Yeah, got to have a little bit of that dog, that competitiveness to where he just doesn't want to get scored on. He's the ultimate competitor, and I enjoy watching him play. We know what he is on offense. He's not your prototypical or your natural born and bred point guard per se. He just scored a little bit, but on the defensive end, I know exactly what I'm going to get out of a guy like that every single night.
Oh, yeah. Can we actually talk about the Jazz matchup a little bit coming up on Tuesday when they're playing against the Sacramento Kings, who have actually surprised me a little bit this year. Sabonis has been playing, I believe, actually higher than his standards. I mean, it's just kind of what do you take away from the Sacramento team that could actually give the Jazz a challenge at home?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that we're talking about the Sacramento Kings currently being in the 5th spot. Fifth seed. I mean, granted, no, the playoffs aren't starting today or tomorrow, but just looking at what they've been able to put together, I think anybody can tell you that, Sabonis has been one of those players that is going to come in and be everything that you need out of a big in an era that if your last name is not, Embiid or Jokic or something like that, you don't necessarily get the credit you deserve. And, of course, De'Aaron Fox has, outside of being on IR status, has always been really good for them. And they've always had the talent. They've just never been able to quite put it all together, it seems. I mean, Kevin Huerter comes over from Atlanta and looks like a totally different player. Not that he was ever bad before. Malik Monk had some stints over in Charlotte and some stints over in L.A. and then found his way to Sacramento. Harrison Barnes, Murray, you've got some really good talent there. You've got some good pieces there. What's the next step for them is certainly going to be contending for a playoff spot in the event that we're not talking about, being able to whip out our Sharpie marker and insert the Kings in there. But just growth in general, something has sparked them to be able to, change things there. And with this matchup that's coming up, on tonight, two teams that, very similar records, it's going to be really, really interesting because following that up, the Kings have probably about 5 or 6 games after tonight that they're going to be at home, and I can only imagine that that's going to heighten their chances at being able to add a number to the left side of the result column and almost look like they're back in Arco Arena all over again.
I've been seeing the beam being lit up on too many nights. So I'm like, wait, the Kings are winning again?
Or the UFOs are coming. But another team I kind of wanted to dabble in was the New York Knicks. I know they're one of those teams kind of sitting like the Jazz in a way where they're kind of sitting average and they make it to the playoffs and they don't go too far. But this season, I mean, they've had their stretches of good games. They've had their stretches of bad games. And at the beginning of December, they looked like a totally different team. They were winning plenty straight. And then at the start of the 21st, I believe, they started losing some games. And now they're kind of back on that stretch. They just won against the Phoenix Suns last night, and it was a pretty hearty win. Obviously, they got 102-83, which was that one game that, didn't make it over the triple-digit mark. But moving forward with this team, like, do you think they can keep up this kind of the winning ways and kind of push away from those losing ways? Or, like, what is the one thing that the Knicks really need to do to kind of consistently win these games moving forward?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, you're talking about UFOs. Listen, if Deshaun Tate is 13 days in to being responsible for another human life and the world hasn't ended yet, I think we're in pretty good shape. That being said, when you start talking about the New York Knicks, I mean, listen, after seeing what Luka Doncic did to him, they needed to change up something, make some new changes and things of that nature. They've got things all figured out for the most part from a guard perspective. Between Brunson, Barrett, Quickly, all these guys that feels like they either came from Duke or Kentucky. They've got to get that front court together. I think that's going to be the biggest key. While we do see those stints of Julius Randle where he looks like this all-star prodigy player and, right there on the cusp, maybe not superstar, but then there's those instances where it's like, hold on, we're building around this guy. Like, this is the guy that we're building around. And when you look up the definition of who you should build players around, when you look up that definition in your imaginary dictionary, Julius Randle's name isn't necessarily always the name, the face that's going to pop up there.
Yeah.
Just continue to just be better and keep growing. Hey, by the way, don't forget, because they've really got to start putting some wins together consistently here, because it wasn't that long ago when Donovan Mitchell was on the chopping block and he was the front runner to go over there. Yes, that's the same guy that just scored 71 points less than 24 hours ago.
I remember that day.
I think for the most part, they're gonna be right there on the cusp to maybe to be able to make the playoffs. I still think it's gonna be obviously really, really tough for them. Currently they are, in that 8th spot, so they're right there straddling the fence between making it and not making it. Obviously, a lot of basketball left to be played and things can change, but I think it's that front court that I have the biggest question marks about when it comes to the Knicks, not as much the back court.
I remember that day on social media. That was not a good day to be on. Of a day before the trade happened and a day after, it was not a good time for Knicks fans. But kind of moving on to actually LeBron's performance. I mean, he actually did put up another good set of numbers last night, up there with everybody else. I mean, dropping 43 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. I mean, he had that motivation where someone asked him, it's like, I'm still looking to play for a championship. I'm not just looking to play ball at this point. It's like, if I was doing that, I should just retire. But do you see this kind of spurt from LeBron, like, where he's really back to, like, kind of in quotes, back to his old self? But do you kind of see this spurt lasting for a while and really helping this Lakers team push up into, playoff talk? Or could you see it possibly running out toward the end of the season?
Well, I'll tell you this much. I hope so, because I had them, even though it was only at the 8th spot after, even if that includes being in the play-in, into the playoffs. That being said, there's certain things within LA. We already know about how poor they are in terms of shooting the basketball from outside. Don't really necessarily have the players that is their expertise. And there's some times that I do question the way that the roster is constructed, maybe having too many star players on the team and not enough guys that are just good at their role and being role players, being okay with that. Not just okay with that, but even more so embracing that role and doing anything and everything that it takes to win. Being able to swallow that pill, whether your name is James, whether your name is Westbrook, whether your name is Davis. That's going to be the elephant in the room, is the guy last name Davis, and him being able to stay healthy. We saw what it looked like when, right just before he got injured, and he was just going out there, just doing everything that he can and being very efficient at it. In many cases, that's without LeBron James. Now you have LeBron James out there, but you don't have Anthony Davis. Imagine what that tandem looks like consistently when they have one another for extended periods of time. Problem is, we don't think that we've really seen that since the bubble. Do with that what you will, but I do love the addition of Thomas Bryant. Most people wouldn't necessarily agree with me on this, but I do love the addition of Patrick Beverley, and I'll tell you why. People are not going to love his antics amongst other things and the way he plays and anything else. Like him, love him, hate him, or anything in between. One thing that this Lakers team, I felt like prior to acquiring Patrick Beverley, is that they need guys who will do anything that it takes to win. Call Patrick Beverley or whatever you want, but one thing about him that I will never question is exactly the kind of effort that he's going to put out there every night. May not, put all kinds of, really cool-looking numbers up on the box score and on the stat sheet that night, but what he's going to give you defensively and from a leadership standpoint, and just having that dog, having that edge that we talked about earlier, every team can use a guy like that. Talk about winning championships. I'm not sure the last team that won a championship that maybe didn't have somewhat of an edgy, type of guy like that on their roster. And then the last person on that roster that I really like a lot is Lonnie Walker, and being able to get him and bring him over from San Antonio and all the athleticism that he comes with. It's just crazy to think all the players that they have, drafted and so forth, whether that be Kuzma, whether that be Ball, whether that be Ingram, this guy, that guy. At some point, they're going to have to really stop spinning the wheel and get some guys to develop and establish some chemistry so that they can get back to their winning ways that we used to know them for.
Yeah, I think that's actually kind of what really hurt me about that early Lakers team was when they did have Brandon Ingram and Kuzma. I'm like, you got a good foundation to really start kind of really building a team up, and you could probably take this team somewhere. But I don't know what was going on in that front office to trade him away. I feel like too soon.
Yeah, and I agree with that. You got to give these players an opportunity to develop. And it's just like anything else, just like in life, just like at our job, no matter what it is. When you're doing something for the first time, or you go over from, respectfully to anybody that's employed at these places, but when you go from McDonald's over to Burger King, or when you go from this place to that place, at the end of the day, it's going to be a transition. When you bring someone in, a kid who's getting a job for the first time at 16 or 17 years old, and maybe they haven't, you're bringing them into the highest selling or the most known McDonald's or fast food restaurant or whatever, what have you, that there is. And that's what you're doing by bringing someone in those young of ages to come and play with someone like a LeBron James. Okay? So it takes time. And our regular, us as radio hosts or guys getting interviewed, everybody had their first week. Everybody had their first year on a new job or whatever the case may have been. Everybody develops at different times and different stages of their careers. I just know that look at what Brandon Ingram has become. Oh, by the way, Julius Randle was another one of those guys. Maybe not drafted there, but another one of those guys, that was in a Lakers uniform as well. You've got to give people a little bit more time to try and actually see what you have. And that's what's happening with the NBA draft now. It kind of seems contradictory a little bit, because the way that the draft used to work was that you drafted guys to be able to come in right away and contribute to an NBA team. Nowadays, you don't have that. Everything in terms of the draft and getting guys is based off of what you can make, what kind of project are they, and you can make them be within 3 or 4 years. Well, with the Lakers, you're drafting guys, and you're not even giving them half of that 3 or 4 years before you're sending them out of the door. So it seems very contradictory, and I'm not sure that they're not going in the wrong direction. But again, there's still a lot of ball left to be played.
Exactly, and that's one thing you kind of look at. You see the Lakers are just a different type of brand. They might just want to rush it a little too fast, and that's just what they get. They have to trade away players so they can get people that they want, and look at where they are now. They got LeBron. But either way, that's all the time we have. Deshaun Tate, thank you very much for talking with us. Let the people know where they can find you on socials and where they can listen to you on your podcast.
Please and thank you. At Take Hoops, TATESTAKEHOOPS on the Twitter. That is any and everything college basketball. The most entertaining, the most informational, and the most educational basketball content on the planet in the form of a podcast. Also got a really awesome one. You heard me talking about it with my co-host, Caleb Johnson. Anywhere you find your favorite podcast, it's called Nothing But Nest, N-E-S-T, like bird's nest. Nothing But Nest, excuse me. All Atlanta Hawks based. So anywhere you find your favorite pod, tell your mama, tell your grandmama, tell your baby mama where to find it. Anywhere you find your favorite pod. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Very nice, Deshaun. Say you keep having that dog in you, and we'll talk with you next
A
week.
dog.
The dog.
A dog.
The dog in you. Well, we're going to hop into a break. When we get back, we're going to close out the show, tell you guys what you need to know. Don't go anywhere because you're listening to the Afternoon Blitz.
The Blitz has been called. You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today. Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Look out in the street there. You know what you don't see? My car, because I had to sell it to pay the lawyer I hired when I got busted for drunk driving. You know what else you don't see? My girlfriend, who decided that a guy with no car and no license and no money was no fun. And hey, you know what else you don't see? You don't see me leaving for work in the morning, because I missed so much time with court and everything that I got fired.
Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. This is John Abraham from the Go super fast. Either way.
Okay, we don't have that short of a second.
Captain Cool John Abraham here, along with the Bandyman Bailey Lowry.
Hello.
We've got a wonderful topical Tuesday today, and I kind of want to end it out. Okay, first off, saying that this hour has been presented by Woody Anderson Ford, the best place to get the best vehicles for
the best prices.
Of course. Very nice. Go visit Bobby White and his crew, and they'll take care of you guys and all your needs. Find out more at WoodyAndersonFord.com. I wanted to say real quick, Bandi, I watched American Psycho finally.
You finally did?
Finally watched it.
And how'd you like it?
It is a funny it's more funny, honestly, than it is anything. I will say that.
It's a weird movie, but
The ending was a little like, okay, I feel like it just left me with, I wanted a little bit more. All right, the ending of it.
Yeah.
But other than that, the memes from it, hilarious. Just great.
I think it's one of Christian Bale's best movies.
I gotta admit. And then he goes on to do Howl's Moving Castle, and that's also great. Plus, it came out when I was born. A spectacular stuff, Patrick Bateman. Either way, you guys have been listening to the Bandi Man and the Captain Cool here on the Afternoon Blitz. We had a fun episode.
Yes, we did.
Deshaun Tate gave a little bit of his NBA input, which is very, very nice. We'll be back tomorrow to do more of the same, guys. It's going to be a great time, and we're going to have RJ White on from sportsline.com to talk about football lines going into Week 18. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. You've been listening to the Afternoon Blitz.